Hey folks, welcome back. I'm gonna talk today about sitting in your boredom. I'd like to talk to you about just sitting in your boredom. I'm gonna speak on the context again of business, but you can use this in in any aspect of life. But again, I'm gonna speak in the context of business. Um, when you learn to sit in boredom, which it shouldn't be a far stretch from us because we introverts, it shouldn't be a far stretch, but you learn to sit in boredom. I learned it from being in business again from pre-internet, um, because it's the outcome of the outcome is really sexy of being an entrepreneur, being a business person. All that the outcome is really cool and really sexy, especially with the internet. With the internet, it looks really sexy to be a business person, an entrepreneur. That's why entrepreneur has become so prevalent since like 2020. And I know a lot of people that attempted to be an entrepreneur during the time of the pandemic, 2020, and um, a lot of them went back to work, because it really wasn't that sexy. It really wasn't that glamorous to be an entrepreneur. It really was hard work. It's probably easier to do um, your skilled 9 to 5 um, than it is with all the things that are thrown at you as a business person. And an entrepreneur is even harder because now you're talking about um, trying to throw businesses on the wall and see what stick. Um, and it really spreads you too thin. But it's still really cool to say that that's what you are. Hey, I'm an entrepreneur. It's still really cool. It's really cool to say I got this going on, I got that going on, and I got this going on. But ultimately, a lot of those things don't stick to the wall. And so it's a waste of time when you could have focused all your resources and skill to a particular business. And if you would have, this is 2025, if you would have gave 5 years to something that you um, were really into, that you really dove into, by now, in 5 years since 2020, by now, um, you would have ultimately been had some sort of success. But a lot of people that are entrepreneurs have minimal success in 5 businesses as opposed to having um, a great a great success in one strong business. And then if that business does well, then yeah, now we're talking about, all right, this is done well, and I can open up another one of the same thing, which is in my wheel well. Those kind of things is how you actually supposed to diversify. You're first of all, you're supposed to build on what you already have first of all before you even consider diversifying. And your diversification shouldn't be too far off from what you're already doing. I mean, some of the things that people are doing are just all over the place. Then it spreads you. Then it spreads your resources. Then it spreads everything. Then in your time, the most important resource you got is spread thin, and it's wasted once 3 or 4 of those things don't work out, or 2 of those things don't work out. Um, yeah, I'm speaking from somebody that made it. I made it through the recession. I started in 2007, so it wasn't sexy at all. I had to literally master my boredom because in the beginning it was no sexy. It was especially for an introvert with no internet. I couldn't sit behind a computer and reach out to people. I couldn't do those kind of things. It wasn't easy. I literally had to get up and go in somebody's face and talk to them, and not knowing why I wasn't comfortable with doing it. But again, those are the lessons I learned early on because I realized that I can talk about anything that I know that I know about. Anything that I am proficient in, I have no problem talking about it. I have a problem talking about things, forcing things that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I learned early on to not talk about what I don't know about and to verbalize that. If somebody asks me a question about something that I don't know, I will tell them I don't know. I will tell them I have to do more research. I have to get back to you. I won't try to fake it to make it. I won't try to put myself in a position where I have anxiety as an introvert, because that's a problem for someone who is an introvert. So imagine an introvert who's stuck in a conversation that you are looking dishonest or incompetent. Like, so that's the worst thing that we would like to do. That's the worst place that we would like to place our energy. That's the worst place I would like to place mine. So again, when it comes to communicating as an introvert, it really is not that hard. You just have to communicate what you like to communicate or what you know about. So, yeah. Um, again, um, starting a business in 2007, um, you just had to. Um, yeah, it was very. It wasn't exciting at all. Like starting a business, it wasn't exciting, and it wasn't a lot of support. It was none of that. Most of the people were 9 to 5 people, and my closest people, so they have never seen an entrepreneur succeed. So they project their fears on you and to say, "Hey, it's not going to work because it didn't work for me, or it didn't work for anybody that I see around me." It's like they project their fears on you, you know, and they're not trying to be hurtful. They just security is a big thing, um, and most people, 9 to 5 is security, and it is because. And what a lot of people learned in 2020, that entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Business, running a business is not for everybody. And a lot of people in 2020 learned that, when they felt like it wasn't any jobs and we was forced inside, and um, you know the efforts were commendable. Like, no, I always I always encourage people to get a to yes have your business, but I encourage you to get a business, to start a business, or get a hustle, or to do something outside of just your 9 to 5. I always encourage that. It's important because that that hustle can turn into um, a business. You know, you get a job, you fund the hustle, and the hustle turns into a business, and then the business turns into something that you worked hard to do. Um, yeah, I think there's no sexiness in the beginning stages. It's only sexiness in the outcome, and the outcome is the wealth that you get from the wealth that you receive from your fruit, the fruits of your labor. That's sexy, you know, when you're buying things and you're growing things, and that's sexy. But it's not sexy in the beginning. It's not sexy building something. It's only sexy when you step back and look and see how it looks when it's built. Later.